G'day, my name is Lincoln of the YouTube channel Lincoln Teaches, and we're going to be looking at a very simple business concept known as needs and wants. Now, most textbooks, most teachers do not fully explain this well. They'll tell you what needs are, they'll tell you what wants are, but then, of course, we get into situations where somebody's like, look, I don't have a car. I lose my job. I don't get the money I need in order to buy my needs. So that's a need. And of course, somebody else is like, no, it's not. So what is it? So let's look at these concepts. Um, Again, with needs and wants, I feel there needs to be three basic definitions. Direct needs, which is on my screen right now, which is something required for survival. And we'll further define that. Indirect needs, which are items required to attain direct needs. And then finally, your wants, which are luxuries, something not needed for survival or to acquire or attain a direct need. So, within direct needs themselves, well, what are those? You have a further subcategory, absolute, which are things you always require, and then situational, which depend on the circumstances. With absolute, you need air. Without it in 5 minutes, you're dead. Water, without it in 5 days, some would argue less, but 5 days tops, you die. And food, without it in 5 weeks, you die. And I know with the water, you could argue, well, if you put a needle in at a hospital, you would get intravenous food and water. I understand there's certain caveats, but we're just looking at everything else being equal, basic, reasonable definitions. So just to clarify that. So again, absolute, always, and the direct needs that you always require are air, water, and food. Then you have situational, which means depends on the circumstances. Clothing. In winter climates, without that, you would die. However, if you go indoors, you might not need to wear clothing. Shelters in certain climates, without, you will die. Yet, if you have enough clothing, you can be outside in winter for days on end if you really feel like it. Again, I'm not a fan of the cold weather that much anymore, and so I might not want to do that, but somebody else would be like, sure, not a problem. And so those are situational direct needs, something required for survival, but it depends on your situation. We then move to what most textbooks, what most teachers don't really cover that well, and it's the concept of indirect needs. What is required to attain direct needs? For example, if somebody needs their car to get to work, and without that car they would be fired and therefore not get the money they require to pay for their food, their clothing, their shelter, then that car for that person, let's say his name was John, would be a indirect need. While for myself, maybe I walk to work and therefore I don't need a car. And so for me, it would be a luxury. Okay. Another example, as I have on the screen, a real estate agent might need their cell phone to do their job. Without it, they would get fired, not get the money they need to pay their water bill, their food, to acquire housing, pay their mortgage, acquire clothing. And so hopefully you can see where for some people they might require certain things, and for them it might be an indirect need, something required to attain direct needs, while for somebody else like myself, I don't need a cell phone to do my job. And so therefore for me it's a luxury. And then finally you have the final term wants, which is of course a luxury, something not needed for survival or to acquire a direct need. And within a course like sports or entertainment marketing, you then use that knowledge to satisfy your customer needs. And of course, you do that by, first of all, identifying your customer based on their demographics, geographics, psychographics, developing products that customers consider better, even if perceived, than other choices, and then operating your business profitably, taking into account uncontrollable environmental factors. Okay. These four topics I will be delving into future videos. So I hope you liked my vid. If you did, please like and subscribe. And I'm planning on hopefully putting out one of these about once a week on different basic and advanced business topics to better help you, my viewers, understand the material, because I find a lot of textbooks just skim over what really are basic concepts but are not understood fully even at the post-secondary level. Anyhow, my name is Lincoln of Lincoln Teaches. Thank you for checking out my video, and I hope you check out the next one. Later.